All right, what's going on? What's going on, guys? All right. Man, why is my video choppy, man? Hey, can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me good? Just want to make sure I get an audio and mic check. Audio check and video check. Hey, Jonathan, video good? All right, so what's going on? We got Kyle here. I met him what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, we was in Tampa, and I just wanted to do an interview with him. I wanted to see where he's at with Prime. He's on his own. He's been, are you company or lease?
I'm lease.
He's leasing, and I just want to get his input on Prime. How has it been for him? How was it for him during training, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to get right into this, and then I'll get some questions from you guys, and whatnot. So, you ready?
Yeah.
So how old are you, man?
I am 22.
22.
22.
All right, so you got your license. What made you want to get into trucking?
Really, I was just stuck in a position where I didn't know what
You
to
scoot
do.
over this way a little bit more. So yeah.
I was stuck in a position in life where I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I pretty much was, for the past 6 years, was working in and out of the industry, the music, or not the music industry, the cooking industry.
Okay.
So I was restaurants. I was in the military for a little bit. Ended up getting medically discharged. And so I was in this position where I didn't really know what to do. I knew that I had a bunch of friends that were trucking or in the trucking industry, and knew that was a possibility. I didn't really want to drop $5,000 on going to school, but luckily I found Prime and they put me through. And
Okay, why Prime though? Out of all the companies, why Prime?
I talked to a couple different companies, and the reason I chose Prime was because they were the most actively on YouTube.
Okay.
And like I found you, I found Blake, and y'all just like how the training was and how y'all were so active in the industry. That's what made me.
Okay, now let me ask you this. I know that there's a question right here. What did you learn to drive a manual before coming to Prime, or did you already know how to drive a manual? Or
I don't know how to drive a manual.
A car? Not even a truck.
Nope.
So he doesn't know how to drive a manual car or a truck, guys. So if that says anything, where this industry is going towards all automatics. So
like when I went through orientation week, if you didn't know how to do or drive a manual at all, they pretty much said that the industry is going towards automatics, and that we're not even going to waste time with training people on automatic or on manuals if you don't already have experience with it.
So you came out here. You only based it off the videos on YouTube and whatnot. How was it during training? How was that experience for you?
Going through training, at first, me and my trainer didn't really get along all that much. But I ended up speaking with my fleet manager. Like, it got to the point where neither one of us really wanted me on the truck. And
there's a lot of conflict.
Yes. To the point where I went to my fleet manager and was like, hey, this has happened, and I think it's best that I find a different trainer. But he ended up talking to me and my trainer, and pretty much said, look, even though y'all may not get along right now, going through the training process, y'all only have to speak when switching. And so I was like, okay. Maybe we can work through this. Maybe my pride is too high, and because it ultimately was, I felt like I knew everything, and I really had to take a step back and actually listen and take time to understand where he's coming from.
So you was the student where you knew everything. Now, and there was friction between you and the trainer because of that part in your behalf. Now, how is it now, looking back at the training? What would you say you could have done different during the training that you know now?
Asked a lot more questions.
So what would you say to somebody new coming in that thinks they know it all? And I'm not saying that, that you knew it all or didn't know it all, but I'm just saying, like, somebody that feels that they know it all. What would you say to them? Because that was one of the issues you had.
Yeah.
And then it was a big issue because now you're with a trainer and now you're not even really speaking when you need to speak or as much. So what would you say to somebody new coming in as far as that goes?
Take a step back and listen. Like, try to learn as much as you can, because there's a reason that Prime put these people in your life as your trainer, because Prime thinks that they're the best people in the fleet to train. So there's a reason they're there. So take a step back, listen, ask questions, get over your pride, and
and I laugh, and I'm laughing because if I would have got you, you would have been left at the terminal, boy. No questions asked.
Yeah. I know for a while I wanted to get on your truck, but
oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the PSD or the TNT, or was that?
That was PSD. Luckily I had the same trainer through both.
Now did things start to get better, ease up, or a little bit?
Yes, most definitely. Like, I sat down with my trainer, and we pretty much talked and said, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong, from a personal aspect, and he told me what I can work on, and as well as I told him what I feel like he can work on, and from that we both grew as people and grew closer, and we talk multiple times a week now.
That's crazy. And that's one thing I always tell people, as a trainer, I'm not going to let anything go past that day. So let's say he was my student and he did something. We're going to talk about it that particular time. After a couple hours, we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to move on. But we're not going to let anything settle, because we're in a small space, and it's a ticking bomb waiting to blow up. So I'm not going to allow that to happen. And if he was one of my students and he came in and he thought that he knew it all, I would let him know, hey, you don't know it all. You're here to train. I'm here to train you. If you're willing to listen, I'm willing to train you. If not, next. I mean, as simple as that. And I'm not, for that. And, his trainer dealt with a lot.
Yes,
So
he did.
So
he did. And I was put with a trainer who so he's 23 and I'm 22. So it was like pretty much like brothers butting heads.
Oh, okay.
Really what
okay, so the age was pretty much the same. So
yeah.
So you did the training. When did you start Prime? Let me go back to that question. I didn't ask that question. When did you start Prime?
So I started Prime. I went to orientation February 11th.
So you was here for Valentine's, and whatnot.
Excuse me.
So February 11th, he came to Prime, decided to do this, got his training done. He's only 22 years old. He knows what he wants because his buddies have been out here and whatnot. So at what point, if any, did you wonder why you were doing this, or ever thought about going back home or anything?
I think about going back home on a daily basis. I mean, because I'm still young. Like, I feel like there's other opportunities out there, but then I'm like, what other 22-year-old can say they're making this amount of money? Like,
right. And you're absolutely right about that. So when you first started Prime, what did you want to do as far as company or lease?
I came into it thinking I wanted to go company, because my stepdad, he is in the financial business, and he was telling me pretty much not to go lease. You'll get stuck in something that you can't get out of, and then getting to Prime and getting some advice. I got advice from at least 20 or 30 different people. And
ultimately you went lease.
Yeah. Yes. More because I felt like Prime, from the advice that I was hearing from different people. I got advice from people on the company side and people from the lease side, and people on the company side were telling me, oh, well, if you go company, be ready to run. Like, even as a lease driver.
I was gonna say, even as a lease driver, you want to be ready to run.
Yeah. But it's, they keep you out on the road until they say you can go home.
No, that is not true. I'm gonna have to say that is not true. If you're a company driver, you're gonna work 4 weeks and you get 4 days off. There's no questions asked. If you decide to stay longer, then that's up to you. But they don't decide when you go home. So if you came out at the beginning of September, you can go back home the beginning of October or middle of October. It all depends on when you decide to go home. But it's 4 weeks out, 4 days home. It ain't when they say, no, that's a big lie. Whoever told you that was lying to you.
Alrighty.
So, how long you been leased? Solo driver.
Yeah, I've been solo leased since May. Since the middle of May.
So, your training overall took about 3 months. Back then, the training has changed a little bit, guys. There's a video. Go ahead and check it out. It'll be in my previous videos. There's a link. I mean, the video saying the updated on the training miles and stuff. So, so once you did the lease, what were your thoughts about that? Like when you first started doing the lease?
When I first started the lease, and not to scare anybody away from the lease, I personally wasn't making any money. I spent way too much money. I was pretty much in debt with Prime. And then getting out on the road, my first week I had an accident.
Oh man!
It wasn't with any other vehicles. It was in a parking lot, and I hit a fire hydrant with a trailer. But it seemed like my first month, everything that could go wrong went wrong. I had a tire blowout. I ended up getting put on the top 200, which so I got brought back to Springfield to go back through safety, and then it was kind of eye-opening because I had to go pretty much do a road test again.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. In the top 200, he doesn't mean the top 200 best drivers. He means the top 200 worst drivers, of Prime. So if you get put on that list, that's not good. So
and so my first month I had 3 accidents, 2 criticals, and a tire blowout, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. It seemed like.
Jonathan Gutierrez, in the description of the video, there's going to be a link to the application. Go ahead and fill it out and go from there, man. Jonathan Gutierrez, in the description of the video, there's going to be a link to the application. Go ahead and fill it out and then get with Nikki Yost. So within the first month, you had 3 accidents.
Yes. Yeah. 3 accidents.
What would you do different what would you do different now if you were to go through the whole process again? Do you feel like you could have stayed on the trainer's truck a little bit longer? Do you feel like there was something that you could have done different, or what he could have done different, or I mean, just trying to get an idea of what your thoughts are now after going through that? Is like, damn,
honestly, yes and no. And the reason I say that is because I do feel like I could have been on my trainer's truck longer. But I was also it seemed like because I was on his truck, I was not put into circumstances where things would happen.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that they don't happen when you're on a trainer's truck, because I think last week there was a guy that ended up having a rollover on a trainer truck.
Okay.
So things do happen, but I think because I knew that there was somebody else's life in my hands that...
So, let me ask you this. Overall, how has your experience been with Prime? Was it something that you think that has been good for you? Has Prime been good for you? Or you think that you would have been better off somewhere else? Or what's your take on the whole thing from the beginning to now? What's your take on Prime?
I honestly would not choose any other company. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Prime driver. I'm saying that because ever since I got to Prime, it's been a big family. People are out here trying to help me succeed from a financial aspect to going into possibly becoming a trainer. They want me to know what the best things for me to succeed and to help other people succeed.
So eventually you want to train?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So that's good, man. Everybody's experience is different. This is why I do these videos, guys. Whenever I meet somebody, I had met them already a couple of months, but that's actually 3 weeks.
See, I think I first messaged you, I think it was in December.
Did I respond?
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a lot of people have been messaging me, guys.
Yeah.
I am trying my best at responding to everybody. I get so many messages on a daily basis, emails and stuff. So if you don't get a response from me, let me see. All right, there you go. There it is, Jack. So if you don't get a message from me, just be patient with me, please. All right, Zach. All right, guys. So let me ask you guys, do you have any questions for Kyle? I'm gonna start answering some of your questions, and that'll be up to Kyle if he chooses to answer or not, whatever it is. So it says, Johnny, what's wrong with you? Let me see. I've been trying to, but they haven't gotten back at me. Talked to some dude, but hasn't called me back so I talked to another recruiter. Jonathan Lowry, who is this? Where's David at? Saludos desde Culiacán, Sinaloa, Junior. Muchas gracias, John. Jonathan said, Junior, you're an inspiration, bro. Can you teach him how to properly wear the hat? Mike, he's all right, man. How old are you?
I'm 22.
You're 22. How was the safety department health in your experience?
Oh, the safety department, they're there, like, they want me to succeed or exceed, or as well as every other driver, but they looked at everything that's happened and said these are all things you can fix, and they noticed that everything was at either the beginning of the shift or at the end. So you really, if you're tired, if you're
you got to think through some of the stuff that you do. So you think it was helpful in going through the safety department? Okay.
Definitely.
Recruiters, let me see. Should I go talk to another recruiter I met? Yes, Jonathan. How long was it to become a lease? He was 3 months in the training, and then he went lease. Kyle, what you making taking home? What are you making taking home?
Now that I'm actually making money, I make anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a week.
Okay, so that's a big gap, but
yeah,
that's okay. How long do you have to drive to be a trainer? I believe you got to be 9 months. Be safe out there. You're awesome. What's the toughest part of being a young trucker?
The toughest part of being a young trucker has to be,
because you can't say you miss home. I mean,
no, I honestly, I think because I want to impress everybody.
Oh man, yeah.
It's
You're doing it for the wrong reasons, man.
Yeah.
Don't do it for that.
No.
So let me see. Let me go back where I was. What have you learned from Junior videos?
I learned everything from backing to financial stuff to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Que la que compañero saludos de Lubbock, Texas. Okay, Juan, saludos, mi hermano. Are the roads soft as well? Let me see. Jonathan, I'm not gonna get that. I heard new policy for drivers will be 2 years to train. Well, they need to get with it. Be smart with your money. I start on the 16th of this month. Wish me luck, everyone. Wish you the best, the real Wayne J. Eddie Silva, what's going on, my man? If I go, I should take my wife with me sometimes. Yeah, you definitely want to do that. I mean, get her to come out here to see what it's like. You know, you're not just out here lounging around and being a couch potato. Does Prime still training manual transmission? No. Hey, Junior, you have one more week still in orientation in Springfield. That's what's up, Chris. Save and invest your money. Junior, I'm new to trucking. What do you think about the lease? Well, the lease is not for everybody. Make sure that, I always recommend people going company first, getting the hang of the game, and then doing lease.
Most definitely. I agree wholeheartedly with that.
So you think you would have been better off if you went company first and then lease?
More because with the accidents, the deductibles are what hit me.
They're $500 a pop.
Yes. Yeah. Luckily, they were only $500, but I didn't hit anything big.
Yeah. Joe Batista says, saludos desde Plant City, Florida. Be safe out there. Thank you, man. Is this a new student, Junior? No. He's been on his own for a minute. There's like 3 to 4 Jonathans in the comments. Let me see. Oh, man. Can you bring a pet? Yes, you can. Do you all use CBs? I don't even know what a CB is. What is a CB? Do you have one?
Radio, yeah.
Oh, a radio? Okay, yeah. In any endeavor of life, there's a starting point. If there's something that you want to accomplish, then there's one thing that you must do. You must begin. Yes. Ruben, what's up? Thanks.
While I'm thinking about it, did you hear about, I guess Prime is making people get their permits before?
Yeah. I did a video on that yesterday. Right. Yeah, I did a video on that.
I just heard about that.
Yeah. I like your videos, very helpful. Ruben, thank you very much. I started at age 23. I'm 48 now. Best job ever. It gets better.
Most definitely.
Yes. Frosty says, some of the drivers do, but some don't use CBs. Oh, come on, Frosty. I was reading a comment, man. Come on. I like reading comments about the CB radios because I don't have one, and I don't care for one.
The thing about the CBs is like, there's so many stupid drivers out here that just start talking. If
that's the reason why I don't have a CB.
Like I heard 2 drivers going at it the other night. It was it honestly was really entertaining, but it's just stupid.
It says, Jonathan Larry, I've been meaning to ask you every time I mention your name. They have a crazy little laugh, but you're a good trainer. Thank you, man. Mr. Omaha, how are you doing, my man? Everything's good. Some of the drivers do, but some don't use CBs or know what they are. Yes, I know what that is, but I was just being funny. What's new with the logs? A lot, man. Trucking with Mr. Coach. You have so much potential ahead of you. If you was a betting man. I've got money on you, young man. So that's good. That's good. Truck with Mr. Coach. Go check out his channel. His videos are in Spanish. My bad. It's time for a haircut. Yeah, man. El Alfaro, sí, no me ando peludo. Ahorita que llegue a la casa, I'm gonna cut my hair. What do mentor make? My company is $100 a week plus bonus is a happy driver appreciation. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about what a mentor makes. Beware of lot lizards, youngster. Keep in mind, there's a different trainers out there. Not every trainer are the same. From what I've seen, Junior videos are really good. Saludos, Junior. Thank you, Dora. Would you recommend local or TR for a new driver? That is something that you have to decide. I cannot tell you what to do. That is something that you would have to decide. Was that a thought in your head at any point?
I chose OTR because, like I said, I'm young. I don't have anything tying me down back home, and there's money to be made in any part of the trucking industry.
Yeah.
You get to see the country. I mean, when I say that, you see the country. You don't do anything, but
yeah. I've had a handheld CB for shippers and receivers. Okay, Johnny, what do you invest your money in? Do you invest your money in anything? Not yet. Okay. What happened to your last student, bro? Oh man, he went home. You're already a lucky man, my friend. You're sitting next to JuniorHonduras. Junior's the man. Thank you, Eddie. Kyle, what's trucking for you? A stepping stone, or it's more than that?
I think it goes either way. It's a stepping stone for my future, as well as when people say it's not just a career, it's a lifestyle.
I do have white hair. Oh, his channel's bilingual, so my bad. Trucking was a coach. My bad. Disculpe, mi hermano. So his channel's truck bilingual. So
I know some Spanish.
Kyle, as a newish, leads up any advice for me starting orientation in Springfield on the 23rd of September. I'll be going lease also. Frosty, I'm gonna have to tell you before he answers that. Go company, get your feet wet before you go out there with the sharks. Mm-hmm. So what's your take on that?
I'd say the same thing. Go company for a few months. Yeah, the trucks aren't the best. And when I say that, they have a lot of miles on them. I know people that are in and out the shop a lot, but
really,
it's not the same for every driver. But I do recommend going company first, getting your feet wet.
What's the percent of prime trucks or manual transmission? Probably 2%.
Yeah.
Mine and a few others.
Yeah.
Milton, saludos mi hermano. OTR for life, Caminero vlog. Dang, Junior, how many have you chased away, bro? Hey, I don't chase them. They go. What's new with logs briefly? Nothing, man. Just you start moving, your clock isn't going to drive. I'm gonna need an autograph hat because just too cool with it, man. Junior, with all the respect, you may have run him away. You're kind of intimidating. I don't know what to say to that, man. I don't know what to say to that. You know what's crazy about that
what drivers aren't though.
Well,
you have to be some type of thick-skinned out here.
Your students, I chit chat with whoever about whatever. When you get behind the wheel, everything changes. I have to be serious about this. This is not a joke. I have to make sure I go home to my wife and kids. I have to make sure you go home to your family. I have to make sure the people around us go home to their families. So, Rafael says you're a Latino dad. So it ain't about being intimidated. It's just, I'm serious. This is not anything to be playing with. When I get back here to start training, I'm so serious about what I do, man. And I can't play with it, man. There's just so much at stake, so much to risk, and I'm not willing to risk it. Safety is my number one priority here. Safety. Your safety, my safety, everybody's safety. You know what I mean? So let me see. No explanation. Rafael Zamora. Does Brian go to go to North Dakota? Yes.
Jonathan, definitely. I'd say if you're going to come to Prime, don't waste your time with learning manual, because the industry is going towards automatic. Yes, it's helpful to know, but especially, I believe, if you're going intermodal, most of their trucks are manual.
So,
but Yeah.
So let me ask you, where do you live at? I didn't ask you. What part of the states you live in?
I'm from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Oh man, you're in a good area, a good reload area, man.
Yeah.
You go home.
That pilot is awful, but
yes. Okay, so this is heck yeah. Let him know. Hello from Massachusetts. We say Marcio USA. Gracias. Breaking news, Junior is the next CEO of Prime. Yeah, right. Do manual the switch automatics was to fulfill the driver shortage. Yeah. Hello from Murrieta, California. Vanessa Roy Wilson. Saludos. Hey, how you doing? Night Rider. Hello. Hell no, I'd rather drive a standard than crazy transmission. All right, so sorry guys, I was able to, hello from Chattanooga. No, I don't even know what a CB is. So we're gonna end this, guys. I try to give you guys some of these interviews so you can see not just from my point of view, but other people's point of views and what they went through and how it was for them and whatnot. So we're gonna end this maybe a month ago. Any idea if I can re-enter? Yes, you can, Derek Watkins. You definitely can. And I'll do a video on that. I'm going to do a video on that. Saludos from Afghanistan. Caminero Vlog. ¿Qué pasa, mi hermano? ¿Qué pasa? Ahora ya sos árabe. Te tengo que tener cuidado con vos. So, any last words for people watching and the newcomers that you want to say? Any advice? Any advice to them?
Come into it open-hearted.
Come into it open-hearted. Okay. Yeah. And, I think earlier. So, all right, guys. We're going to end this. Again, I don't like to do long videos, but I was able to give you guys some input on somebody else's point of view of Prime, and
I did see somebody comment about manual. I just thought of this. I've talked to a lot of drivers that are manual, and they say it helps them, especially with long shifts, because you're actively doing something. But
I'll tell you what, if you go into traffic, boy, that's...
Yeah.
Oh, man, I want to go to Prime just to ride with JuniorHonduras. That is my bucket list. We'll go to Avenida Brazil together. Yes, man. That was a good soap opera. Night Rider Trucker, muchas bendiciones, muchas gracias. Truck with Mr. Coach, saludos, mi hermano, gracias. Vida Molizan, gracias. All right, guys, we're out. Thank you for tuning in. That's Kyle.
Yes, sir.
All right.